Hello, in this video we will discuss what is NAT, what are the different types of NAT and in which case which NAT you have to use. So guys, what is NAT? NAT stands for Network Address Translation. So NAT is a process which is performed by router for translating one IP address into another IP address. Now the division of IP addresses are like this. So for example, this is your enterprise. Here you have users, different users. This is your router, and this is ISP. So I will divide this particular network into two parts. I will call these addresses private addresses, or I can also call this network private network. These addresses will be public network. So whenever you want to reach any any site which is available on internet, you should have a public address. If you don't have a public address, you cannot reach internet. It means if I am here in a private network and if I try to access Facebook, I cannot access it until I have a public address. Now you can say, Piyush, here in this case, this client always have a private address. So how this private address is able to communicate with this public server? Guys, first thing, private to public communication is not possible because you can send the traffic from private to a public destination, but public destination cannot reply back to a private address. Communication should always be public to public. Public to public. It means we need some sort of device in between which will translate this particular user IP address into a public IP and send it to the server. When server will send back, it will again untranslate the IP and send it back to the user. This whole idea will known as NAT, Network Address Translation. So you just have to keep one thing in mind for now, that whenever you want to access internet, you need a public address. Without public address, you cannot access internet. And second, only one communication is possible, that is public to public, not private to public. That's why we require NAT. Now let me give you one example. Let's say this is your router and the feature NAT is present on iOS router. This is your user and this is the server. For example, address of this user is 10.1.1.1, address of this server is 20.1.1.1. Now what we will do, let's say this is interface number 1, this is interface number 2. I will define interfaces as NAT inside and I will define interfaces as NAT outside. So in the beginning you can understand it like this, that inside is your private network interface and outside is your public network interface. So this interface is called inside interface for NAT and this interface is called outside interface for NAT. So first of all, we understand the flow of NAT, then we will discuss different types of NAT. So for example, on this router you have created a rule. So we call this rule NAT rule. NAT rule is configured on each and every device on which you want to perform NAT, because that rule will define which IP address will be translated into which IP address. So I have defined a rule that please translate 10.1.1.1 IP into, for example, 30.1.1.1. So we have configured this rule. So whenever this user will try to access the server, Source IP will be 10.1.1.1. Destination will be 20.1.1.1. This user will send traffic to the router. Now what router will do? Router will check what it has to translate. Whenever traffic is received on inside interface, source is translated. What we will translate? Source. So router will think of translating source. So router will translate source 10.1.1.1 into which IP? 30.1.1.1. So traffic will be like this. Source will be now 30.1.1.1 and destination will be same 20.1.1.1. After translating the source, router will also create a NAT table. We call it translation table. In translation table, router will keep an entry of this translation that yes, I have translated 10.1.1.1 into 30.1.1.1. After this, router will forward this traffic out of this interface to the server. Now server has to send back a reply. Server will use the source IP 20.1.1.1. Destination IP will be 30.1.1.1. So it will send back to router. Now router receives traffic on which interface? Outside. So whenever traffic is received on outside interface, router will translate destination. So for inside you can remember source, for outside you can remember destination. Now router has to translate destination. For translating the destination, router will check this translation table. That yes, I know that I have to translate 30.1.1.1 into 10.1.1.1. So this way router will translate 30.1.1.1 into, let me write here, 10.1.1.1 and traffic will be forwarded to the user. So what we have understood, let me conclude. Whenever a user will send the traffic, router will receive the traffic. If it is inside interface, router will translate source according to the NAT rule we have configured. After making the translation, router will keep an entry in translation table also and send the traffic out of the egress interface to the server or to the next hop device. When the reply comes back, reply is received on outside interface. Now on outside interface, router will always translate destination. Second thing, after translating destination, how it will translate destination? By checking the translation table again and it will send back traffic to the user. Now we can discuss about different types of NAT. So basically there are two types of NAT. One is static NAT, other is dynamic NAT, and dynamic NAT is again categorized into one more category, that is called PAT. So if I have to write here types, I can write it as static or dynamic. Dynamic NAT is further categorized into one more category, that is PAT. So first of all, we will start with static, then we will discuss dynamic, then we will discuss PAT. But here I have my own terms for understanding these different types of NAT. Guys, you will be needing NAT in real-time scenarios in two cases. First, let's say you have multiple users at your site who want to access internet. So all these users want to access internet. So I call it NAT for users. And NAT for users is also known as dynamic NAT, and we can also use PAT. So whenever you want to provide NAT to the users, that you want to provide internet access to the users, the only type of NAT that should come in your mind is dynamic NAT and PAT. Second case can be Let's say this is your domain, and in your domain you have servers, and you want the outside users. So this is internet, again the public network. So this time you want outside users to access your servers. So I call this NAT, NAT for servers. And NAT for servers is achieved by using static NAT. So let's discuss NAT one by one. So first of all we have static NAT. Static NAT means one-to-one NAT, or I also call static NAT, NAT for servers. Why? For example, you have a server in your domain. This is your router and this is the outside user. So again this is the private network, so this interface is inside. This interface is outside. So IP address is, let's say, 10.1.1.1 and this guy is IP having 20.1.1.1. Now we will configure a NAT rule, but NAT rule will be static. What do you mean by static? As soon as you create the NAT rule, the same NAT rule entry will be created in the translation table also. Let's say I am configuring a NAT rule. NAT rule is translate 10.1.1.1 into a public IP. Let's say public IP is 30.1.1.1. 30.1.1.1. So what router will do if we are configuring static NAT? Router will create this same entry in translation table also. This is your translation table. So in translation table entry will be 10.1.1.1 will be translated to 30.1.1.1. So we have the entry in translation table. Now you can ask me why we are creating this entry. So if you remember the logic of NAT, whenever traffic will go from inside to outside network, a entry will be created and replies translated on the basis of the same entry. But in this case, if you see, we are initiating traffic from 20.1.1.1. So this user will initiate the traffic. So 20.1.1.1 will initiate traffic for 30.1.1.1. So this traffic is received by router on which interface? Outside. On outside interface, what is translated? Destination. So how router will translate destination? It is having the entry in the table. It knows that it has to translate 30.1.1.1 to 10.1.1.1. It will translate destination and send the traffic to the server, and in the same way we will get back the reply. So you can see here, with the help of static NATs, we are providing NAT for servers. Second type of NAT that I will be discussing here is dynamic NAT. So dynamic NAT is for the users, not for the servers. It is always for the users. So here I have a topology which is representing static NAT. As you can see here, we have a router. This is my enterprise inside network, inside, and this is outside. So I'm not able to write, but you can understand. This is my server, private network. This is internet, public network. So this user is sending packet to the public IP 200.200.200.2, and you can see this particular destination IP is translated into the server's IP, because we have this entry in the translation table. Only because of that thing we are able to make the translation. So whenever you want to provide NAT to the servers, you have only one option, that is static NAT. Second is dynamic NAT. Guys, when we talk about dynamic NAT, it means translation will be dynamic. Translation is dynamic. It simply means whenever the traffic is initiated, only then translation will happen. Otherwise, there will be no entry in the translation table. Dynamic NAT means translate a group of addresses into a group of addresses. For example, like we have here, I have a LAN 192.168.0.0/24. So this is a group of addresses. I will translate these addresses into a pool of addresses. So pool is 203.31.218.210. It is starting from 210 and it is going to, for example, 212. So how many IPs are there in the pool? 210, 211, 212. 3 IPs are there in the pool. So this is basically many-to-many translation. If I compare it with static NAT, and static NAT there was one-to-one translation. But here we have many-to-many translation. So what will happen? Let's say this is my router. So whenever a user will send traffic, first user is sending the traffic, its IP is 0.1. So router will translate it into a IP which is available in the pool. So first of all, how many IPs are there in the pool? In my case, here we have 4 IPs. So let me include 213 also. So first of all, router will see first IP in the pool. Let's say it is 210. It will use 210 to translate. When second user will come, it will use another IP. When third user will come, it will use another IP. So these translation is dynamic in nature. And after translation, router will create the entry. Router cannot predefine the entry. Router will create it after translating it. And translation is dynamic in nature. That's why we call this NAT dynamic NAT. Dynamic NAT also called as many-to-many NAT. So this NAT can be used to provide internet to multiple users at the same time. But the drawback is the number of users which are able to access internet at the same time will be equal to the number of public addresses present in the pool. Not more than that. So guys, we need a solution. So the solution is very simple. We come up with a concept of PAT. Now, what is PAT? PAT means port address translation. PAT is also called many-to-one translation. So guys, yes, I just said many-to-one. It means all users traffic will be translated into a single IP. How? How this is possible? Let me tell you how. So you can see here we just have a single public IP in this case, that is 203.31.218.100. This is a single public IP available to us. So this time in my translation table, I will keep 2 things. I will keep information of IP to IP translation also and port to port translation also. It means in addition to IP, we will be translating port also. Like, let's say this user is sending a request to a server and this user is using this source port. Source port is always a random value. So in the translation table, I will keep this entry that I have translated 192.168.0.1 who is using source port 3000 into which IP? 203.31.218. So let me write here 203.31.218.100. So IP is translated into this IP and this same port is translated into port 3000. So in translation table, how many translations we are keeping? 2. One for IP, other one for the port. And you can see all the source IPs are translated into the same public IP. But in translation table, we are also keeping the information of port. Now the question is, how this information is helping us? So I'm just assuming that all these users are trying to access a single server, that is 8.8.8.8. So all these users are trying to access a server 8.8.8.8. So like, I think you can understand the traffic flow, that whenever the users will get the reply, Or you can say whenever the DNS server will send back the reply, source will be 8.8.8, destination will be 203.31.218.100, and destination port will be 3000, or it will be 1500, or it will be 3970, depending upon the request source port. So guys, whenever router will receive back the reply, router will check destination port, then it will check translation table, and after checking the port number, router can easily categorize. If destination port is 3000, it means I have to translate this particular IP into this IP. If destination port is 1500, I have to translate this particular IP, the same IP in every case, into this IP. So on the basis of port, we are making the decision in which IP we have to translate. So guys, in this video we have discussed what is NAT, what is the flow of NAT, how many different types of NAT are there, static NAT, dynamic NAT and PAT. Thank you.